right, what's going on, y'all? I am on the road. It's Friday. It's the 28th. I am on the road. I got to take this car to go get registered. I mean, insured. I got to get it inspected. And then I got to register it. This is why my 11 o'clock live stream, I had to cut it short. So my apologies to you. I made a video yesterday breaking it down to you, but the video didn't, I don't know what happened to it. It wouldn't load up. It went up to like 51%, 53%. Then it stayed on that for like 4 or 5 hours. So I just deleted it. I had to take my other truck yesterday. I'm taking this today. And then I'm gonna take next week, Thursday, I gotta take another car. It's the day in the life of owning 7 cars and spending all this money on taxes and registration and insurance. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. You know, this is the life of owning 7 cars. When I was doing a lot, when I was at 56 years old, I'm talking about when I was like 53, 54. You can ask anybody that got 7 cars or more, 5 cars, hell. You really don't keep them all registered. Sometimes you'll have a car, ain't nothing wrong with it, you just don't get the time to take it down to the motor vehicles to register it. My 7 Series, it went like 4 years from like 2019 to 2023. It went like 4 years unregistered. I would drive it, kept it insurance. Like I tell people, I keep full coverage on all my cars. So I would keep it insured, but that's how it is. This is actually going on my 2nd year where I'm staying on everything. My motorcycle, this is the first winter that my motorcycles, the battery didn't go dead. I mean, I kept them mugs on. I didn't keep them on regular old 5-watt tenors. I kept them on 100. I kept them on 100-watt. I kept the mugs on 100-watt solar panels. And my K12, that's not at the house. That's with the 6 Series. I would go start it up and just let it run for about 45 minutes. And it's right across the street from a gas station anyway, so I'd run it over there. But one thing that you really got to understand is when you own 7 cars, 2 motorcycles, is you got to develop a system, because the 850 has 2. I keep 2 100-watt solar panels connected to that car. 2. The 850 has 2 batteries. And you get tired of spending money for batteries. Every year you spending $600-700 on batteries for the 850 because it got 2 batteries in it. You get tired of that. So you develop a system. And like I said, this is the first winter that I kept none of the cars. This is the first winter that none of the cars, battery went dead and everything. This car, even though it's March 28th, the registration expired on 2/28. So, oh, wow, I'm exactly 30 days late, but it's okay. So I'm boogieing on down there now. Got to get them registered before you inspect, before you register them. So I'm boogieing on down there now. We're going to get all that done because as y'all can see, I got the new Cazal 955s. These are exclusively for this car. So whenever you see me wearing the 955s, I'll be in this car. That's my life. That's the life that I got. When you that bad, you can buy frames exclusively for the car. I want to talk a little bit more about owning various cars. When you have 7 cars, when you have 7 cars, the beautiful thing about owning 7 cars is you get to be somebody else. Like, every car has a different characteristic, and that's the biggest thing that I love about owning 7 cars. The biggest thing that I love about owning 7 cars, every car has a different feel. Every car have a different characteristic. So I'm gonna introduce it by saying this. I was at the light. Probably today is Friday. It was about Monday or Tuesday. I was at the light, and I watched this dude I listened when the light turned green. All I heard was whoa, whoa, and I looked over there, and it was a pickup truck. And I said to myself, how do you relax driving that car? With all that noise, there's vibration inside the vehicle. I was saying to myself, how do that guy go to work? How does that guy go to work, say to himself, I really want to unwind, and jump in that truck? How does that guy do that? Because I'm going to tell you something. There's a certain time that when I drive each car, I'm a different person. There's a certain time when I'm in a specific car, it has a certain feel to it. And I cannot, nor will I ever understand how a person, this is just me, I'm a car collector, I feel cars, I can get in your car and listen, when I drove my X5, I'm gonna just tell you, when you're a car guy, you're on a different perspective. When I brought my X5 diesel last month, I didn't test drive it. I got in it, started it up, and just listened to it. Started it up while I did the walk around, checked, make sure the sunroof worked, popped up, slide back, looked in the back seat, made sure the rear, it has 4-zone climate control, made sure each side worked, made sure the horn worked, the high beams worked, wipers worked, backup lights worked, made sure they worked. Oh, you want to test drive it? No, I want to leave a deposit. Remember, I brought that car on my credit card, so I put a deposit, and I went back every day. I have my credit card got a $2,000 limit, so I went back every day and put the $2,000 on it. Went right in the app, switched over $2,000 out of my account back on the card. When it was available the next day, I went back, did the same thing till I brought the car. All right, so I can do that, meaning I can get in the car and just tell you how it feels, right? I can do that. I can get in the car, I can get inside of a car and tell you if it's frame on body. I can get in a car and tell you if you got run flat tires. I can get in a car and tell you if it's drive-by-wire. I can do all that. So that's me. So with that being said, I have a certain way that I feel with every car that I drive. When I'm in, I have, out of 7 of my cars, 4 of them are coupes, 2 are SUVs, and 1 a sedan. No, I'm sorry, 3 of them are coupes. The electric car is a sedan, even though it's a compact, but out of my 6 BMWs, 3 of them are coupes. And I can tell you, I feel totally different every car. With every car. My 6 Series, it's a 5-speed. I'm an animal when I'm driving that car. I'm an animal. The 7 Series, I could tell that thing has a quick response throttle body. When I'm in the 7 Series, I step on the gas, man, I got to stiffen my neck. The 8 Series don't even have that feel to it, but the 7 Series, I drive that car, before I step on the gas, I have to stiffen my neck. Every time I hit the gas in that thing, I'm beating up the headrest. The 850, that's like the old Papa. The 850 is when I want to just get out and race, but the 850 is not a takeoff car. The 850 is a running race car because it don't have 0 to 60. It don't have a good 0 to 60. But once she gets going, that 12-cylinder, you got a nightmare to deal with. But when you have 7 cars, it's a feeling like none other. This car, being that it's a roadster, has a very short wheelbase. So you got to understand, when a car has a short wheelbase, when you turn the wheel, the car literally jerks over. It feels like you're doing oversteer. That's what it feels like when you drive a car with a short wheelbase. It feels like everything is oversteer. When I first got the car, I thought something was wrong with it. And then after 2 or 3 days I was in the car, I didn't feel it no more. But it's something you got to get used to and understand cars. So when I seen that guy driving that truck, I really couldn't understand. I couldn't understand it. I was saying to myself, how do you drive that vehicle? That's what I was saying to myself. I was like, how? The 7 Series, when I drive that car, let me give you the narrative and perspective behind that car. When I was dating my ex-girlfriend, the one that I talk to now, I had the 7 Series and I had a BMW CLK. And the BMW CLK was a nice coupe. And I drove the CLK. It was just an enjoyment car. It was a Benz, you know, it was. And then I brought the 7 Series. And I remember one time I was driving in the 7 Series and I just seen her tensing up. I seen her flinching. So I'm driving and I'm looking over at her and I'm like, oh. And she says to me in my car, why don't you slow down? I said, who are you talking to? I said, oh, I'm gonna just okay. So when I'm driving in my other car and I'm driving all conservative, you got no problem with that. I said, then when I jump in this car, you think you can tell me how to drive in my car? I said, you'll never drive in this car again. And guess what? She never drove in that car since. She didn't drive in the car after that. We broke up, of course. But it's not something that I want to say. It's not something that, you know, it's a flex on your girl moment. No, it's just my friend, they got 9 cars, got the same problem. No, he got like 11 cars. He got about 7 and his wife got about 4. He had about 7 or 8 and his wife got 4 cars. And he said, man, I got the same problem with my wife. When we in the Mustang Cobra, 500 horsepower, she expect me to drive that thing like it's an economy car. I said, really? He said, yeah, that's how women are. When they're in a rush, they can drive reckless and be fine with it. But because you, as a car guy, you get in your car and you just running. They got a problem with that. They got a problem with that. Maintenance for 7 cars. We'll talk about maintenance. What a lot of people don't understand is contrary to personal belief, when you have 7 cars, you really don't have no maintenance. You don't have maintenance. You think you do, but you don't. Now, checking your fluid levels, and like before I got in this, all of my tire pressures was at 35 and 36. I think one was at 36, the other 3 was at 35. The tire pressure is supposed to be 50. So one thing that I do before I jump in my cars, I always tire pressure. In addition to that, so I made sure my tire pressure. I always make sure I got proper tire pressure. That is so important. Didn't understand it when I was younger as much, but I understand the importance of tire pressure. But the reason why there's very rarely any maintenance on your cars is because, number one, my everyday car, more than anything, is my electric car. That's still under warranty. Had it not, my BMW X3, which is now my company vehicle, that would be quote unquote the everyday car. And having that as an everyday car, and it's the workhorse, I specifically wanted the N36 engine, which is the inline 6 with no turbos. It's BMW's #1 most reliable engine. And I wanted that. I wanted to make sure I had that. So that is everyday car. So my 850, with that having 12 cylinders, coil packs, spark plugs, 9 quart oil changes. I've owned the car. I've owned the BMW 850 9 years. I only gave it 1 oil change. Can you say you gave your car an oil change once in 9 years? It's synthetic oil, so it ain't going bad. But I don't drive because I have 7 cars. I get to say this car, my cars very rarely get used. As a matter of fact, when you have 7 cars, the amazing thing is when you see your friends, they say, "Oh, you still got that?" Yeah, still got it. Still got it. It is the best feeling in the world owning cars. It really is. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. I'm gonna go back to my batteries for a second. This car is the only car that I own. This and the X3. I don't keep them 2 cars on tenors. The other 5 cars, the other 4, the 1 is electric, but the other 4 I keep on solar panels actually. And the reason why is, number one, it's summertime now, so I keep this in rotation more than anything. In addition to that, this car is on Turo, so it actually gets used a lot, so the battery stays fresh. Today is the 27th. I had it on Turo, a 4-day lease, last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and they returned it on Tuesday. So I don't keep this car on a solar panel. It gets driven more than enough. Having my cars on Turo, I have 2 of them. Having my cars on Turo is the best thing in the world, because it straight destroys my overhead. Yeah, having my cars on Turo destroys my overhead. This car, the payment is $319 a month on this car, and this car makes me about $800 a month on Turo. So that is what it is. In addition to that, my electric car, my Nissan Leaf, that is the car that I do Lyft. I do Lyft with that car. And that car, that's all electric. And that car being all electric, let me help you understand the super duper plus that comes with that. So it's a Nissan. And it's electric. Now, one thing a lot of you probably don't know when it comes to owning an electric car is there's a ton of incentives for owning or buying an electric car. And one of the perks of owning my Nissan Leaf, now I've had that car 3 years. Let me see something. 22, 23, 24, 25. Wow. Yeah, I've owned that car 3 years. Jesus Christ. I didn't even think about that. 22, I brought the car. 22, then 23, 23, 24, 24, 25. Wow. So in the 3 years that I've owned that car, I probably paid to charge it. I'm probably at about $60. $60. And the reason why I'm only at $60 is because the dealer charges it for free. That, hands down, is the coolest thing in the world. You cannot beat that. All the times that I drive for Lyft, when I actually, the Nissan Leaf, it makes me about $1,200 a month doing Lyft. And the $1,200 that I make with the car is all to the good. It's still under warranty. And because it's still under warranty, I don't pay for nothing. The beautiful thing about that car, if you don't know, electric cars don't need any maintenance. So I don't have that. The maintenance that I did have to pay for was just to get the brake fluid flushed by a battery. No, that wasn't maintenance. That was a breakdown. The maintenance was the flush. The battery wasn't maintenance. The battery went dead. They thought it was. It was the main battery. It was the battery pack, not the 12-volt battery. The 12-volt battery, meaning when you need a jump, it was that battery. They changed it when it wasn't that, the 12-volt battery. It was the battery pack, the one that gives the electric car, the range. So, in the 3 years that I've owned the car paid for itself twice over already. You can't beat that. That is the best thing in the world. And when you strategically, part of me buying and owning 7 cars is I'm strategically buying cars. I'm not just buying cars. You know, I'm not just, I'm not. I try to not buy vehicles where the class clash. I don't care about the coupes. It can be coupe all day, coupe or super duper coupe. It don't matter. I think coupes are the real deal. This car that I'm in, this is the only true coupe I own. There are no back seats in this car, as you can see. In addition to that, this is a convertible, hardtop convertible. And if you don't, or you have never driven in a convertible, it's not like any other car. When you're in a convertible, it's a difference. You don't drive a convertible and it feels like a hardtop. No, sir. If somebody was to tell me they never driven in a convertible, what I'm telling you is you're missing the ride of your life. There's nothing like a convertible. Nothing. There's nothing like a convertible. You are at the top of the food cool chain when you own a convertible. That's why these, not my most expensive glasses, but my coolest glasses, it's why they're exclusively for this car. Not just because they're white and the car is white, but these are aviator glasses. You can see you got the sidebar. When you have the top down, wind doesn't blow in your eyes. Strategic. It's just, if anybody was to tell me that, or this is what I get a lot. This is what I get a lot. What you need 7 cars for? And I say, well, what do you need with 7 pair of underwear? And you'll always get, well, that's different. Of course it's different. The difference is you got to have a different bank account to buy 7 cars than it takes to buy 7 pairs of underwear. So the people will ask you questions, but they will be asking you from the perspective of trying to shame you or put a ridiculous factor on the fact that you got 7 cars. I now say it is a known fact that the more things cost, the less of it people have. It's a reason why you only got 1 car. I mean, I want to be clear. I only say this to people to try to shame me for having 7 cars. I had one dude try to say to me, all of your BMWs are old. I don't know one car collector that have all new cars. Not one. As a car collector, you buy cars based on the specific of the car. You don't just go out there and say, check this out. You don't go, a person with a collector that has 7 cars, don't say, I got a Nissan Maxima, I got a Ford Focus, I got a Chevy Impala, I got a Honda Odyssey, I got a Dodge, a Chrysler 200, I got a Subaru WRX, I got a Subaru Impreza. No. When a car collector buys cars, his cars are brought with a very strategic. The cars are strategic. They're not cars just to say I got cars. For example, my E38, the 7 Series. You're not going to find people that's going to say, oh man, let's stick with it. The individuals that said my cars are old. Tell a person that like BMWs, you got an E38 with only 76,000 miles on it and see what he tell you. That, my 7 Series, when I used to go to the BMW club, cats couldn't believe it. Like, the dude that had the less miles on his E38 was like 140. One dude was like, I got 200,000 miles on mine. I got 200 plus thousand miles on mine. I'm like, I don't. Then, old cars, right? I got a 1986 BMW 635 CSI that I brought in 1989. Tell somebody that want a BMW, you got an E24. See what they tell you. Now that one got 140,000 miles on it because I've owned that car 40 plus years. Almost. In 4 years, it'll be 40 years I've owned that car. But tell somebody you got an E24. They'll say, whoa, the Shark? You got the Shark? Yeah, I got an E24. All right? Speaking, again, of old cars, tell somebody you got an E31. See what they tell you. You know what they'll say? You got an E31? Wow, always wanted one of those. I was at the gas station in my 1991 E31, and the cop rolled up on me and said, man, where'd you get this car from? I always wanted one of these. He said, you know, back in the day, only football players had these cars. But when he said, hey man, where'd you get this car from? The first thing I said to him is, man, I ain't supposed to be talking to you, man. And we just busted out laughing. And I sat down, I spoke to that cop for about 45 minutes. The E31 is the 1981 BMW 850. The E31. Tell somebody you got an E31. But according to this dude, a car collector is supposed to have all new cars. You got all them old BMWs. No, I got the ones you want. I got the ones you want. I don't just got BMWs. I got the ones you want. That's what I got. I got the ones you want. This car I'm in right now, it's a 2013. It's 2013. Tell somebody you got an E89 and see what they tell you. Tell a BMW person, yeah, my man got an E39. See what he tell you. See what he tell you. See what he tell you. It is amazing. See, having 7 cars and talking to somebody that don't, you're talking to somebody inexperienced in the world of just buying cars. It's an art to buying cars. You don't just buy cars. You don't. My next car, a 2011 SL55 or SL63. I don't want, I think 2011 or 2012 was the last year of that model. Then they went to this egg looking shape. But that's the next car. That's the next car. Yeah, that's the next car. So do that. Tell somebody, hey, I got an E39. You know, the coolest thing about so I have this theory, and the theory that I have is you want to invest in something that's a conversation piece. You don't want to be on some bland. I don't want to have, it's saying I got 6 BMWs, a flex.com. But the thing was strategically buying my BMWs. So when I brought the X3, I wanted an M5 so I could have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But then I found an X5 and it was a diesel because I wanted a diesel. So I'm like, well, now I got 2 SUVs. So I got to get rid of the X3. So I'm going to get rid of the X3 and get an M3. So now I'm going to have an M3, a Z4, a X5, my 6 Series 7 and 8. I'm going to keep that thing going. But I want to get y'all to understand. I want to get y'all to understand something. I want to show y'all just how cool a hardtop convertible is. So I hit this button. All the windows go down. And then she starts doing that magic. Oh, that's the coolest in the world. You cannot beat that. That is dot fly for your ass. For real. You can't beat that. You think you got fly, you think you cool until somebody roll up on you in a convertible. And I want to be clear about something. I remember the first time I rode in a convertible, back in 1994. Hold on, 1995. First time I ever drove in a convertible, 1995. It was a Toyota. It was like a 1989, 88 Toyota Celica convertible. And I was like, this car don't feel like nothing in the world. And hell, if it was like no other car in the world. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show y'all how it looks when the top is going up. So I hit this button right here, and it starts to dance. I walked out of the range of the remote. Hold on. I walked out of the range of the remote. So it's just the coolest thing in the world. It really is. Let me go back and let me open it up and go back the other way with it. What happens is once it's in motion, you can't stop it from doing its thing, or it just messes it up. So let me just get back into the motion. All right. So she's closed up. Now we're gonna just got it closed. The windows. We let it do the whole gambit. Let it do the windows. All right. So now we're gonna lock the car, and you lock the car and get the top to just come up. Honestly, the coolest thing in the world. All right, my bad on doing that. I should have stayed in range of the remote. Like I said, once you get out of range, you take too far back, you don't read it, it's going to stop. The remote is telling it to open. You don't hit it, and then it goes through the sequence on its own. But honestly, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it to have a convertible. When you're driving in a convertible, honestly, this is the only car that I drive in that I truly feel like a rock star. I don't feel like nothing else when I drive this car. When I drive this car, I feel like a rock star. I feel like I own the world. I feel like I'm famous. I just feel like the world is mine. The world is mine. And so, like I said, it's a beautiful thing. Even to the recent purchase, even down to the recent purchase of my diesel, my X5 diesel. I love all of my cars. Like I said, a person that buys cars, they collect cars, strategically buy their cars. I have a friend of mine that had the LC500, that has the LC500, and he wanted to add another convertible to his collection. So it took him like 2 years. He kept saying, hey man, I'm gonna buy another car. He looked at the Jaguar, that Jaguar coupe that came out. To me, it's ugly. He wanted to get that. He was looking at that. He was looking at, he said, I'm not even looking at a Corvette. Like, I totally don't want that garbage. Him and I, we speak the same about General Motors products. He knew he didn't want that. And so he talked about Porsche. And then like 8 or 9 months later, he talked about Porsche. Then about 2 months later, he was off Porsche and on to something else. He was like, I don't want a Lambo. I was like, okay. Then when he talked about Porsche, I was straight a cheerleader for the dude. I'm like, look, everything else, get the Porsche. Get the Porsche. And he was like, he got off it. And then he calls me up and he's like, Smitty D. I said, what's up, man? He said, I brought it home last night, man. I said, what you got? Got the Porsche. And he said, I'm gonna tell you why I went with the Porsche. He said, let's just say, this is what he said, let's just say I would have brought a Corvette. What you think about a person in a Corvette? I said, sweatpants, just out driving it like it's a Hellcat. Exactly. What do you think about when you drive the Porsche? Distinctive gentleman, badass. You know, yeah. Porsches have appeal to it, and if you don't collect cars, you don't know it, because a lot of people. Here's what a lot of people got to understand when it comes to cars. There are used cars that's a total better buy than a new car. It's a total better buy. Like, there are individuals that's buying brand new cars for $40,000 when you could have got a used $30,000 car, $25,000 car. That's way better. Better built, better quality. Just the better is across the board. Just a better car. Better car. So I got me something to eat before I go over to this place to get this thing in there to get inspected. So while they're inspecting it, I can GMG, grab me some grub. So we're gonna do the last bit of the ride topless. Like Nas said, don't say I'm topless, say the titties is out. The titties. That's the coolest thing in the world. I can drive up to 21 miles an hour while engaging the roof. And once again, it is the best feeling in the world to have the top down and feel like a rock star. Really. So I'm gonna end this thing with, I get asked, when you own 7 cars, what's the deal with the insurance? And I'm gonna just tell you like this when it comes to insurance for 7 cars. My insurance is $980. It's probably more than that now because I added the X5. So I didn't get the uptick in price yet. But they did say that they sent me a message before I brought the X5 and said my insurance went down by $300. So I guess now with the X5, it went back up. But nonetheless, here's what I'm getting at. As you get older, you incorporate a lot of insurances in your life. As you get older and you become more successful, you use insurance to take the stress and worries off a lot of your stuff. So everything that I have at my house, I have 3 different warranties on my house. I have one that is from the curb to my house. I have another one for under the house, and I have another one for the house. So I have 3 warranties, and I paid a premium, and I don't care nothing about it. I'm not thinking nothing about it. As you get older, the term is I got other things to worry about. That's how it is with my cars. I'm not into the business of saying, I just got liability and somebody crashed into me, or I crashed the car and I only got liability. I'm not even trying to do that. So, if I'll do another video, I can show y'all my insurance. I pay like $50 every couple of days. I put $50 on it. Before the end of the month is up, it's paid. That's how I live my life. I make money every day, so I pay bills every day. Every day I pay bills. I put something on something every day. That's my life. I love being here. This is why, if y'all don't remember, if you can remember the story I told you, I had a Kia Optima Hybrid that got repoed, and the car got repoed. And when I called them up, that is how my car looked. That is pretty. And when I called them up, they had me on hold for like 20 minutes, literally 20 minutes. And the lady comes back on the phone and she's like talking a mile a minute. And I'm like, whoa. I said, let me tell you why you're talking the way you're talking. Let me tell you why you're talking the way you're talking. I said, when I called you and gave you my case number, you seen that I had a credit. You was wondering how my car got repoed. No, that's not it, sir. I'm not done. I said, you're asking yourself, how did they repo a car and I had an $800 and something credit? Because I brought the car specifically to do Lyft. So every time I worked, every day that I worked, I put $25 on the car. And I brought it with CarMax, not CarMax, the other one. Car Time, something like that. Yeah, Car Time, whatever. I brought it with them. So I went into the app every day and put $25 on it. So I was always ahead. So when she came back and she was like, blah, 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 whoa. Needless to say, I filed a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. When I was talking to the Federal Trade Commission, they called me back. And I said, that's them calling. You want me to patch you through the call? She said, sure. And she listened to it. She said, wow, Mr. Smith, you were right. You got a credit. I've never heard somebody with a credit got their car repoed. And they were telling me that I had to get the car registered. My license is not in the state of Virginia. So they was telling me I had to get the car registered in Virginia. I said, listen, I told the people when I brought this car what I was going to do with it. I'm I said, you better call your salesman and ask them what I came near in. I'm not jumping through hoops for no damn Kia Optima. Anyway, I filed a complaint with the insurance commission. I ended up getting a check about 45 days later for $1,300 and something. And the car was not, they asked me, what did I want to resolve it? I said, I don't want the car no more. Are they closed? Yes, they're closed. So I was like, I don't want the car. So one of the things I said, I want my money back. They was like, well, we could take it, we could take the car up to Maryland and to a drive up in Maryland, and you can register in Maryland. I said, no, I don't want that car back. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And so to resolve that issue, I said, yeah, I don't want the car. So I got the car, I gave them their car back, and I didn't have nothing on my credit. I never had a repo on my credit. So that's my life when it comes to insurance. Although you may think $980 is a lot for insurance, I have a $500 deductible on 7 cars. That's it. That's it. I could do higher. I don't want to. I don't want to. Like I said, I love the life that I have. I love the life that I have. It is rock star status to say I have the life that I have. Really. I get nothing but compliments when I drive this car. I never came here before, so I don't know if they do state inspections here. Well, let's go find out, shall we? All right, so they do them, but they said they're slammed. So here's what we're gonna do. I am going to pull over somewhere and eat. He said they're pretty slammed, but I don't see, all them bays are empty. It is what it is. Listen, one thing I don't do, don't nobody owe me no preferences or anything. Don't nobody owe me nothing. I'm not one of them people where, you know, as a business person myself, don't nobody owe me nothing. So I'm gonna chow down on this food, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Later.